See if the transition's actually gonna work. What's going on, everybody? Thank you, everybody, for watching Cheap Drinks and Cheat Codes, episode 50. We coming up on a year.
5-0.
We coming up on a year, boys. What are we doing for our anniversary?
I think we're gonna drink milk.
We're gonna drink just a
Right?
live
like
milk drinking
we're just
session.
gonna like down as much milk in all the different kinds, like Fairlife, almond, coconut,
Oof.
The hour-gallon challenge.
the 1,000-gallon challenge.
I don't know if I can do an
Oh,
hour.
hour gallon. I think you said 1,000-gallon.
Didn't people-
Either
hour
I'm
gallon.
down.
Didn't people
1 gallon in an hour.
didn't people die from that?
No, you just throw up.
I wouldn't. I would be the only person not to.
You know who
What up,
should?
Slurp?
You know who should have drank milk instead of producing some horrible content? EA.
Yeah, again.
Mm.
EA is deciding the fate of Anthem, which I feel like was already decided, but they're just reiterating what everyone already knew.
It's-
Well, go ahead.
it's a dumb, not a dumb article, but it's just dumb in general because Anthem was like, cool, brand new game, Anthem, trash. And then they went, all right, we're going to rebuild it. And then rebuilt it. And then they're just like, all right, we're going to let it die a second time. Like, should have just let it die the first.
Well, it might have been like them pulling the rug out from underneath BioWare, because BioWare was like, it was their vision. They had something in mind. It didn't go as planned, and they wanted to fix it and get it to what they had hoped. And here comes EA just like saying, nope, you guys should move on to something else, which I agree with. I think they should, with the Star Wars license open, they should go back to Knights of the Old Republic and work on the next, Dragon Age, which they are. They're doing that, but that's what they should focus on. They shouldn't focus on this game. It died hard. Everyone has like a little blunder in their repertoire.
Yeah, it's almost like the Fallout thing, like where they just keep pumping money into the same thing, and at least EA, like, I'm assuming it's the board. The board is like, all right, this didn't work, didn't make us any money. We need to jump ship because there's pirates and not the ones that we're trying to put in the game. But yeah, I guess some other stuff from EA. Maybe digital. Hold on, I didn't quite understand this. They're just talking about their show, right?
Yeah. So this is E3. E3 is, since it got canceled due to COVID last year and they didn't do anything, it's now going. Right. Well, it was canceled, right? They had like everybody just had their press conference when they wanted to, essentially as a video, but it will be all digital.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was kind of like a train wreck, because like some people just didn't do a conference.
Yeah, they just kind of like,
Yeah.
we're not there. We never did
Yeah,
anything. We
because
just let everything die
didn't
off.
didn't Sony do that? Like Sony they didn't do a single thing, and they waited until their conference to announce all of their stuff.
Yeah, they just did their own
Yeah,
thing.
so that's weird. I don't think like the age of this like digital showcase is gonna like last, just because like we talked about last time with the BlizzCon thing. Like people want to get their hands on new stuff. People want to like interact. Like they don't really care about just watching an online schedule, and it's just not the same.
I think I really hope what they've been doing for the past year is really working on getting an online like presence other than just like letting people watch things. Like I know that PlayStation, like they did it like 1 year. You could like do a virtual kind of like look around of what their E3 booth was going to be.
Okay.
And that was pretty neat, but all you could really do was like maybe download one demo, watch the same trailers you had already seen online. If they have a way to do E3 where they can have like an entire digital thing of the floor that you can like look around,
Right.
Click on what you want to see, because there's some things that just get buried.
Yeah.
That like indie things. Like for me, like this is one thing that's big in like the science community right now because of COVID. Big conferences where tens of thousands of people go have to be canceled, and they have to move to digital so people can still like network. And there are some of these societies that just like don't want to do that. But then again, there's people like my research advisor attended a conference in Australia because it was online. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to go. Like, there's no way we could. They weren't going to let us in, right? Because we're from the U.S. and they're not letting anybody in, and it's so far away and so expensive. So I think figuring out that online thing and then being able to mix it is perfect, because then you just get to more people. Like they shut off E3 to the public quite a while ago. I don't know if it's open to the public really anymore or just to people in the gaming industry. So, so allowing your people to go instead of just watching like IGN stream it, you're getting more interaction, and that's better for literally everybody.
Yeah. It just needs to be interactive. Like we talked about with the BlizzCon thing. Like if you have like a huge show that's going to be multiple days, and then you try to like pack it down to 3 hours online, that's not going to work. People aren't going to like. I'm not gonna take multiple days online to attend an event. So you need to try to figure out like how to make it interactive, how to get people the content that they care about. Like I think Comic-Con was perfect where was it Comic-Con that we did the online thing, Phil, where we got to pick what we wanted and they emailed us the timesheet that was specifically made for us.
Yeah. Some of those were weird, as in like they just like emailed you the link to the private YouTube video. But then like I know for sure with Gen Con, like I got into like a Zoom call for like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw like, I think it was the Gen Con thing that we watched together instead of the Comic Con, where it was like all those panels of comic writers and stuff like that. And it was just an enormous participant, like Zoom call. And I would much prefer that. Like if they had like the whole Blizzard, like Overwatch team, because then you could have people from these development teams that you're not even really ever going to see outside of like if you worked there, like some coder on Overwatch 2. Like it would be really neat to have him on a panel and talk to the crowd about the game and stuff like that.
And that's the thing, like at E3, that's what like the people in the game industry get to do. Like if you got invited from IGN or from GameStop or something, you get to talk to those people. All we get to do is watch it online and not know anything. Maybe they respond to us on Reddit or Twitter or something.
Right.
But having like a Zoom thing or small little things where you can just like hop into a Zoom call as you go up to the booth, and they're just like sitting there like, hey, what's up? Here's our stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would suggest would be, because this was so weird when we watched it I think it was either the Resident Evil thing or the Ubisoft event we watched, where people were donating like on Twitch when we were watching it live. And I think that's so strange to sit there and donate to AAA game company on Twitch.
Ubisoft?
I think it was the Ubisoft event, and people were donating like bits and money.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, it was
that just blows
Ubisoft.
my mind because it's like that there are a significant amount of people on Twitch that could use those donations than a AAA game company.
Mm-hmm.
But
Especially Ubisoft.
yeah, especially Ubisoft. But yeah, just moving forward, this I thought was hilarious. So everybody knows Terraria. I have like 5 copies of Terraria on my Steam account because it was like
You
$1
gifted me
that one day, and I gifted random people Terraria copies. But yeah, it's no longer on Stadia because the developers got locked out of their Google account, which is hilarious to me. I just think that's super funny. Just the idea of like, I don't know. I think of that like if this podcast had like a huge following and then like I forgot my password and I was like, you know what, just delete the account, just delete the whole podcast,
Whole game gone.
the whole It's super funny. I mean, it doesn't even really matter if he like Terraria. So I think in that instance, like Google needs Terraria, not Terraria needs Google. Even though like Google is like this huge mogul, but like Terraria has such a cult following that it just like, does it even really matter? Like
I think Stadia needs whatever it can get its hands on as like a cult game. It needs that itch that some like there's a handful of group of people play still continuously like every day.
yeah,
Stadia doesn't have those games still. That's
Well,
the only thing that will, I think, save Stadia is if they start bringing in like when they went, oh, we're gonna bring a bunch of indie developers in, and they kind of like, here's 3, and then like left it at that, and like 2 left, and they didn't give the one guy money.
yeah. Yeah, they need their Octodad or their Goat Simulator. Like they need their like Among Us. You know what I mean? Like they don't have any like niche cult game that has like 12-year-olds playing it till they're 18.
But then the thing is Stadia is a subscription service, and that's all that is going to kill it in the end. So
For sure.
even if you have a game like Among Us, right? No 12-year-old is going to play it because they're going to have to ask their mommy and daddy to pay, the $10 a month
to play a game they can play for free on their phone.
Yeah, to play. Well, yeah, you can play it for free on your phone. It's like $5 on anything else, which $5 is too much for that game, in my opinion. But that's a different story.
Right.
So, yeah, they need to keep things if they're trying to stay afloat. Otherwise, it just looks like they're just like, here we go, we're done, guys. We tried it didn't work.
Yeah, I think what we talked about last week, like with the studio that they hired closing, I mean, that's just like, that's hemorrhaging at that point.
Yeah.
Like we know they're closing. It's just a matter of time before they close, which I think is hilarious because it's like they've been around about the same time. Like they've been around publicly a long time, but they've been around like as in relevant about as long as the podcast. And we've outlived Stadia.
We're gonna do it.
Just everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat. Pogs in the chat because we outlived Stadia.
But I mean, it's also typical Google fashion. Is like I talked about it the one time. Like they'll literally, oh, this is a cool idea. Work on it like big, like drop buco monies into it, and then just didn't work, and just sweep it aside. Like they'll just the whole team just gone.
Yeah, I think that'll be something you don't put on your resume. Like I was a founding member of Stadia. This is a game I don't have any. I never played it. I've only watched maybe like 5 minutes of it, but Shadow of Mordor. And I don't understand the Nemesis system patent. How do you patent a game mechanic?
So it's kind of like an AI system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a learning system, if I'm not mistaken, right, Phil?
Yeah. So essentially, what happens is you can kill or like detour one of these like warlords, and based off how you fight them and how you beat them and how you kill them, they can eventually come back. And then they've changed and they've learned your tactics, so then they can have like defenses against what killed them before. Or if they killed you, they remember it, and they will have like they will say something to you, because every time you like initiate with a warlord, they say something to the ranger, which you play the ranger whose name I forget, and they will, you know, if they killed you before, they will make a notion about like what happened and like talk trash.
Gotcha.
So
The only clip of this game I've ever seen was a clip that somebody had posted on YouTube of like what it's like when you basically they constantly, I guess, like you can belittle an orc, like you can shame them, and he shamed the same orc like 700 times, and the orc literally was like begging to be killed. Like it was like some really dark stuff. Like it was because the machine learning is just inputting language at that point.
Pretty much how this whole thing.
Yeah. So,
I think it's really neat.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's super savage.
Oh yeah.
But like, I mean, it sucks like for other companies that like they patented it, but then again, you know, possibly, I don't remember who makes Shadow of Mordor right now. It's slipped my mind. They could put it in that Nemesis system into other games.
Yeah, as long as it's approved, like as long as they, I guess, pay a license through WB Games, they could use the Nemesis system.
Well, if WB Games is like the publisher of the game, they own the patent, so they can put it in anything. Kind of like, you know, Sony can make a bunch of, when the PS3 came out, they could make a bunch of PS3s with Blu-ray players in them because they had the patent for it.
No, yeah, I meant like, but that just sucks for other game companies. Like if they want to use a similar thing, like they're gonna have to pay a licensing fee through WB Games. It's just like one additional things that studios have to pay for. But like the licensing, commercial licensing is always what stops game studios from doing anything. I mean, that's why other companies don't make Nintendo games, because it's impossible to get a hold of the license. And even when they do lease it out, it's to some like unknown company where they can like they can make a game for really cheap and flip it. I mean, so it's just like I think it's going to turn into this. I believe WB Games, like, that's the same publisher who does like all the Batman games, right? Like
yes.
Yeah, so like maybe I don't know, we haven't seen much of Arkham Knights, but it would be neat if Arkham Knights had something similar in it.
I don't know if WB still has the rights to DC Comics video games. That's the only thing. But DC Comics, like, rights on their stuff have been haywire for many years. So
yeah, there's like DC Vertigo, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but like somebody has Superman, someone has Batman, and it's all split apart.
Yeah, Bob Kane stole Batman, anyways. Shout out Bill Finger. Never forget. This one, like, I read it and I laughed because I wasn't surprised. So, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, rather than getting DLC to a very anticipated game, they've decided that they're going to go a better route. There's air quotes implemented in there somewhere. They're going to prioritize microtransactions. And I'm not even sure what really, aside from cosmetics, there would be that you could do in a game like this for microtransaction. But
it's the Gooby route.
Yeah. They like, it was already said in the article that there was like a ridiculous amount of gear you could get. So it's like, would people really even be that interested in cosmetics? I feel like they misread their market.
Well, I mean, I think they're also trying to roll off the back of For Honor, because that's the up close, you know, Viking, samurai, knight, you know, combat, and it's all cosmetics.
Right.
Like, you can play like dog trash, but your dude with like this black soul aurora coming out of him and like crows coming out when he spawns in, like, that's the whole game.
You're just trying to demoralize your enemy before you fight them.
Yeah, before he beats you because you just spent $50 on a skin and don't know how to play.
Yeah, I think it's especially scummy because they promised free DLC. So it's like not fulfilling free promises before you're like, yeah, but we kind of need more money though. Even though I'm sure they just made, you know, a couple $100 million off this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's sold really well. So the fact that they want to like move for microtransactions for what has to be cosmetics, unless they're also meaning, well, the story, like you have to get the season pass for story stuff, so you still had to pay for those.
Right. And that doesn't even come out until spring.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also not a big fan of like DLCs like that. Like I know like in some Ubisoft games you can get their like UB points and unlock stuff for free in their thing, and that's as much as I go. I'm not going to buy some cosmetic thing for that doesn't really add too much.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Gooby tried.
So that's the thing, is people aren't necessarily... So people aren't mad that there's going to be cosmetics. It's just that the cosmetics aren't purely cosmetic. It'll turn the game into pay to win, which for a single player game, I don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Like why do you need the advantage?
So you can win faster.
Yeah, so you can... That's like... I don't know. That's hiring someone else who's better at reading to read the book for you.
I mean, that's not always a bad idea.
Yeah, but you're not experienced. I don't know. It's just so weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
as long as you have a higher grammar skill, it's okay.
Right.
There's a lot
How
of big
you
words out there.
pronounce this word? This was something that like I didn't expect until I like really looked into the game, and the amount of people that were annoyed that they picked Sands of Time instead of the second Prince of Persia. I don't remember what the game title was called, but like if you scroll through the Twitter comments on this post, which we'll link in the description, it's actually like kind of hilarious. People aren't even mad, other than like the people who were like, stop announcing games a year before they're even ready, and then either canceling them or delaying them, because that's been like the go-to thing this last like year and a half now. It's just been like, well, we have this really dope title screen, and there's a game showcase coming, so yeah, go ahead and just show them like, you know, God of War Ragnarok. We have no idea when it's coming out, but like everyone's super highly anticipating it, but it's like that's totally irrelevant. Like I love the God of War franchise. I haven't played the last one because I don't really play games on console anymore, but when I watch playthroughs of them, I mean, they're amazing, but a game can't hold my hype for that long. Like it just doesn't. I don't know if my attention span's going away with age. I don't know.
I don't know what the second Prince of Persia game is. You've got Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, Two Thrones,
Warrior Within.
Warrior Within.
That's the one that everybody wants remade, because apparently it was just a significantly better like gameplay. You never played them all at all?
Not a single one.
Sands of Time was lit whenever I played it originally, but the reversing time and infinitely having lives like really coddled everybody. So I'm assuming Warrior Within was just like a
2000.
Maybe like a trickier game to play. People tend to like difficulty.
What was I playing back in 2003? Tony Hawk Underground.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that? What was 2003? What was going on?
2003. I don't know, but you had Knights of the Old Republic, Underground, Double Dash, Hit and Run, Jak 2.
Jak 2 for sure.
Need for Speed Underground.
Need for Speed Underground, definitely.
Jedi Academy.
I was playing
Hacking the Power of Juju. I forgot.
I was playing that.
That's some throwbacks right there. We should maybe that's what we should do for the anniversary episode, is go year by year and just look at all of the throwbacks, and I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Top game for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. We could pick like a couple games from every year, and we'll just like go through them, watch the trailers, watch gameplay. I could come up with some sort of video. Oh, bro, I never played those games. Those games were terrifying.
2003 was lit.
The pyramid head dude that like drug the big cleaver thing behind him. Terrifying.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Oh, 2004. San Andreas, Half-Life 2, Halo 2, World of Warcraft, Doom 3.
Oof, wow.
2.
Wow, that's where Phil and I were. Wow, the whole time. For years.
2004. When Halo 2 came out, I was playing Halo 2 non-stop.
All right.
Yeah.
We can't. We'll save this.
Yeah,
We'll save the
we'll
rest of this
reminisce
for,
at a later date, but
the
with
anniversary.
more sadness, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are not launching this year, supposedly.
Oh no, no
Doesn't-
more
It
Overwatch.
doesn't bother me.
Shut up, Phil.
If Overwatch isn't with a whole new map list and a whole new character list, I really don't care.
Right. Like they need, Josh and I talked about this pretty extensively. Like they need how many characters they have right now? Like 30, 32 maybe? Something like that.
I'll
They're
let you know.
above 20. They
I'd play,
need
like, 3.
they need to double that. Like for me to even be remotely interested, they need to go the League of Legends route, and I need like a bazillion characters to play, because
32.
32.
characters.
Yeah, I thought so. So like, yeah,
This game came out in 15.
exactly. Like you either need to not have any of those characters in the game ever again, and just make those, maybe do like a generation type thing. But my fear with that is that they'll just be copy and paste characters. They'll have like
Yeah.
a Reinhardt who's actually like looks kind of like Zarya and does like a similar thing, and it'll just be like copy and pasted characters with new names and new art.
Chinese phone game.
Right? Yeah, it'll be PUBG Mobile.
It's not this, but it's this.
Yeah, that game doesn't interest me nearly as much as Diablo does. I like Overwatch. I play it all the time with Josh, but I have a ton of hours in Diablo, and I spent a lot of time grinding Paragon levels. That game, rock solid, all the time. All the time I think about it.
I'm like, Diablo 4 is the only thing that interests me. For me to be interested in Overwatch 2, they need to like just rework the entire system. I don't want to shoot somebody for an hour and them still stand. That is not fun to me. It's very boring.
Mm-hmm.
But with Diablo, like I remember when 3 came out, and this will age me. I was still working at Walmart. That was a long time ago.
Oof, yeah, that was a long time ago.
And I went in, and like 3 other people that worked with me had gotten it like that night as well, and we were just talking about, like, we're making a joke that our clicking fingers were like twitching and not working right because we were just playing too much. So yeah, I love Diablo. Diablo's great.
Yeah,
but they can't, like, they need to make it work. So because we don't want a Warcraft 3 remake.
Yeah, I'm actually curious if we'll get the Diablo 2 remaster before we get Diablo 4.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
Because they could launch the Diablo 2 remaster, because that game's not going to be in like it's not as long as any of the newer ones, and it would get the hype up for like the next Diablo, because most people are just going to play it out of nostalgia,
right?
And then like maybe it's like a sneak peek into the engine Diablo 4 will be based around, and then you know something like that.
Yeah, I will say for Diablo, I think they need to bring back the auction house. Being able to buy things on the auction house was super, like, it added an element to the game. Like, you could, if you didn't play for a long time, but you had like hoarded gold, it was like not a deal breaker. You didn't have to go back and grind for 4 months to get items. It'd be like if
one of my buddies did in high school.
Yeah, it'd be like if Tarkov didn't have, like a black market to buy stuff on. I mean, sometimes quests would just be like insane. But let's kick it over to some speed run. Let's stare at our faces full screen for a little bit.
I'm waiting to see if the animation quits on us here.
No, that's the releasing and relevant one. Oh, but the chat's
no,
the chat's all over my. Is it? It's get a little crazy sometimes.
A little bit. That's a little stuttery.
Move this over here. But yeah, speedrun was pretty light. There wasn't a whole lot going on that I actually cared about. But Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart arrives June 12th, right? June 11th. Sorry. June 11th. Sorry.
Excited.
Pre-order June 10th. 12 a.m.
Yes, I'm hyped for that. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I'm just not much of a story player guy. If it was Jack and Daxter, maybe
the
we'd be
same
talking.
thing,
It's like
Brandon.
they're very similar.
They're very similar for sure. But I need some dark eco in my life. Okay.
Oh my god, Dark Eco.
No, I just want to drive the motorcycle like boat thing around. Where you just had like the vehicle, you just or the hoverboard. Hoverboarding around was the best thing. This I don't think is even necessary, but Ubisoft is potentially changing the name of Rainbow Six Quarantine to something different, which the only other word that you can use to describe the game from the trailer would be pandemic, which it doesn't help at all.
You got quarantine and pandemic. It's like it's what
That's the whole premise of the game
is based about.
Yeah.
So
it's hitting too close to home for people. People don't want to remember that they're
if
still in
they
quarantine.
released it when they showed it 2-3 years ago, we wouldn't really have. This
it would be a
problem,
giant meme, and it probably would have been ultra successful.
Oh yeah.
Like just quarantine inside quarantine. Valheim, 1 million players
1 week, 1 million people
in 1 week. That's
for out of the blue kind of like indie. Well, it's not in. It kind of is, but they have a pretty good publisher behind them. They've got Coffee Stain behind them.
Isn't it early access?
No?
I don't know if it's early access.
I don't know.
Not.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was. I think I opened it or I just saw it on Steam's front page.
Yeah, it was on the front page for like the past couple days for sure. But I watched Code Carnage play it today before you and I played Hyperscape, and it was weird because the art style is like 3D pixel art.
That's like everybody's biggest thing. That's the only negative I've heard about the game.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm kind of iffy on the art style, but everything else is like through the roof.
Yeah. The gameplay looked fun. Like he was like mining in a dungeon, and like he would like randomly get attacked by creatures, and so he'd have to like stop mining. But he had like a camp set up in the thing, so like you can just like camp out in a dungeon and farm creeps while you mine, and it was pretty interesting. I would potentially play it. I don't know if there's any PvP.
Yeah,
there is. Okay.
On just the server, but I think it's only
on certain servers.
I think it's like a 10-man server though.
Okay, so it's like smaller than Rust type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's along the same line.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that game is going to be successful for quite a long time because I think people are getting a little tired of Rust. I mean, the game's been out for like a really, really long time, and people love Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Viking thing right now. God of War, AC, Valhalla, and I think the TV shows like Vikings and something else have been really big lately. So this is hitting perfectly, and it's also coming at a lull for those like survival type games. Like there was Rust, like I think it's called Reign of Kings, Ark Survival, like all those. They were just dropping. You could get one left and right, and then those kind of disappeared when battle royales took off. So this one coming in when everybody's in love with Viking stuff is really good for them, and that's probably the big like band. 1 million people, like they want Vikings, and then that kind of Minecrafty Rust feel is hitting all the right things.
Yeah, like the crafting, having like a good crafting system, like because I've heard that the crafting system is pretty extensive. Like there's lots of tiers of gear. It's not like your basic like bronze, iron, silver, to diamond type thing like you'd have with Minecraft. Like you have like obsidian, you have different gems, things like that. I think it'll keep people's attention for a really long time. But something that would keep my attention, Crash 4. It's about time.
Ooh-wee.
I think
about time comes to PS5.
I'm into PS5, March 12th. That's like a huge nostalgic thing for me. Like I played quite a bit of Crash. I played Crash Team Racing the most, but Crash Bandicoots were fun. The platforming's fun and accessible for everybody. You need one?
Crash Bash.
Oh, Crash Bash. Yeah. Yeah, we need more Crash Bandicoot. I wish they would do another. What was that PlayStation fighting game they did?
PlayStation All-Stars.
PlayStation All-Stars. They need another All-Stars to come out.
I liked All Stars. It was a different fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of sucked how you couldn't KO a person without performing a super.
Mm,
Like I feel like you should have been able to, but
right.
it was a new thing.
Yeah, I think they need to ditch the Smash Bros. Aspect of it and go more Street Fighter. I think a good Street Fighter with Kratos, Nathan Drake, like what's the girl from Horizon's name? I'm blanking on her.
Aloy.
Aloy, yeah. Yeah, throw some Aloy. You could have you'd have Aloy with Trap with a bow. You know what I mean? Like she'd be even could they do Solid Snake?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's in Smash, so I don't know if they would let him do that. But maybe that's one of the reasons why they haven't done it. They've leased out all their characters to other companies to do stuff with, and
well, I think they still could. I mean, Solid Snake is Kojima Studios, which is not under Sony.
Right.
But like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest people, they are in Smash as well.
They did have Nathan Drake,
and they're not under anything, so they would definitely have characters that you can't get anywhere else, kind of like Smash has Mario and Zelda.
Right.
And
yeah.
They had Raiden for Metal Gear
Rising
or Revenge, whatever it was.
Yeah. I think we're due for a nice collective system game, whether that be a new Super Smash Brothers or a new PlayStation All Stars.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. This is in here, but this is a movie. We don't normally talk about movies, but Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It gets a 2022 April release date. We saw Tails.
Did well.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
We talked about the first one. We'll talk about the second.
Yeah. Yeah, we only talked about the first one because it was a giant meme.
Yeah, because it bombed immediately.
Yeah, it didn't even make it to like the editing stage.
They gave him 2 separate eyes. They messed up immediately.
But yeah, if Knuckles, I said this before, like if Knuckles ain't in the next movie, I don't care. I just don't care. Tails is not that interesting.
I still haven't seen the first.
He's the boy wonder of the Sonic Hedgehog universe. So, yeah. Then this is something I'm like kind of terrified about. But the Star Wars is going to use the Division 2 open world system, and that makes me think that I'm not, because I don't want to. Okay, so like let's go into the world of the Division. There's a crack dealer, all right, and I have to shoot him for 45 minutes for him to die. Now,
it doesn't mean
there's an AT-AT. I have to shoot him for 4 months before he dies.
It's using the damage system. It's just using the
yeah, but a lot of times they're just like
world engine.
Yeah, but the world engine is gonna. I mean, most of the time, all of that stuff is built into the same thing. That's why you get copy and paste games like Division or Call of Duty, because they're just going to take all of that source code and then just repolish it with a new game. The same thing as they did with Battlefront and Battlefield.
Yeah.
It's the same.
We'll see.
It's the same game. It's just going to be visually different, which makes it seem like it's an entirely new game.
And the open world, I mean, I never played Division 2 because I just, Division 1 rubbed me the wrong way. The open world of that did not feel open, because you were blocked off from going places until you did something which required you to like play online when you were just playing single player. So I just got stuck, and I was just like, well, okay, I'll just turn this off and uninstall it.
Yeah,
the second's pretty good.
I also didn't like that there was a bazillion buildings. You could only go into like 2. But all right, let's hit up to the releasing and relevant. Somebody's gonna have to read these off because
I got you. I can do it.
Appreciate you, brother. I gotta move the camera here. There we go. All this stuff's all messed up.
All right, so February 10th on PC, we're getting Doors of Insanity. And then also on February 10th for the Switch, The Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon DLC is finally coming to the Switch version. February 11th, Death Crown on PS4, Xbox, and Switch. February 11th, Little Nightmares 2, PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Also on February 11th, Summer Catchers on Switch. Not sure what that is.
Not sure what that is.
We have Galgun returns on PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Switch on February 12th. Rover Wars on Xbox One, February 12th, and Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury on Switch, February 12th.
That's
it.
Yeah, that's something I'm actually looking forward to watching people play. I think it's in the Odyssey engine.
That Bowser's Fury is like, is like that extra thing. I think it's just one world from what I hear, and then the port for Super Mario 3D World, I hear they didn't like update any.
Just a one for one port.
Yeah, it's not getting like that good of reviews right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, like it's decent. Like if you love the first one, which was great, you'll enjoy it. But like they literally just like one for one ported it.
Dang. Womp womp.
Yeah.
As Josh would say.
Remastered and ports are it's not a hot world right now.
No, not at all. All right, Phil. Hit him with a cheat code of the week.
Cheat code of the week.
Yeah, man.
Hit it, Phil.
Well, it's not really a cheat code. It's more of an Easter egg, and it's from the Outer Worlds team to the lead. Like they did it because of him.
Okay.
It's there is a certain chocolate bar you can find that was put in the game, and it is because of a discussion the team had with their lead, and something like he was always talking about chocolate bars when they were making it. So they put this chocolate bar in the game without him knowing. And it's all because of just this guy's love for chocolate bars. So it's a little Easter egg they put in as like a prank to the director.
That's dope. Shout out to Rizzo, lead developer on Outer Worlds, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But yeah. We ran a little long. We got a little wordy, but that's pretty much it from us today. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, on YouTube. Hit us out on Instagram if you have any questions. We also now, let me switch over to the other screen so Phil feels a little bit more comfortable. And it's not just him. But we also now have a Discord. The Discord link's going to be down in the below description. Feel free to pop in there. We have a couple game channels set up where you can come chill. We play all sorts of stuff. Escape from Tarkov, Overwatch, Apex, Hyperscape.
You play games.
Yeah.
We play games.
It's linked in, if you're watching right now on Twitch, it's just got linked in the chat, and you can join.
Yeah, there you go. So get in there, Slurpee. I know you're still here.
Yeah.
I'm watching you. Get in there. But thank you, everybody. We have 2 more weeks till the anniversary of the show, and we're gonna hopefully try to do something a little special, little fun. But we'll see you guys next week. Later.
See ya.